G'day and welcome back to the Department of Southern Armament Research. For this overview, we have probably one of the most special rifles in my collection. This is a Sportco Model 62S. Alright, Sportco. Weird name, even weirder place where it came from. Yes, I'm talking about a firearms company that was started and operated out of South Australia. Very strange people come from South Australia. So, Sportco story. Very smart businessman managed at the conclusion of the war to get hold of a whole heap of Lithgow factory tooling, and as a result made quite a business for himself, rebarreling surplused or newly surplused number 1 Mark IIIs to calibers like 25-303, 270-303, etc. Calibers that were usable to sporting purposes in Australia. Noting that effectively the only two cartridges that were widely available in Australia were 22 long rifle and 303 British, and nothing much in between. So, Sportco evolved out of that. They bought a whole heap of Martini cadet action rifles, converted them to 22 long rifle, and sold truckloads of them all over this country, all through the Commonwealth, and even into the United States as well. Off the back of that success, Sportco was actually originally a tube mill factory, so creating metal tubes for things like, I don't know, clotheslines, the Hills Hoist, great Australian icons there. So they put that into good stead. So between the steel quality, they also bought a whole heap of barrel blanks from Lithgow at the end of the war. Steel quality, their tube making prowess, they had a crack at firearms design and came out with a whole family of 22 repeaters. An example of which I have here. They also came out with 22 semi-autos, a 22 Hornet, a 222 much later, and then a whole range of shotguns in both bolt action and single shot. And then arguably their most well-known design is Sportco 44, or otherwise known as the Omark 44 target rifle, which totally revolutionised full bore shooting here in Australia and across the Commonwealth. This particular rifle I have in front of me here today, as I said, Sportco Model 62S, 22 long rifle. Very significant piece, near to my heart, much like my number 1 Mark III. This is the gun that taught me to shoot. This was originally my father's. It was actually purchased by him with his first ever paycheck, the day of his apprenticeship. He won't tell me when that was, but I know how old he is. You can't track it down by the serial numbers on Sportcos either, because they had a very eclectic alphanumeric system which chopped and changed brackets all over. So it's very hard to track down just how old these Sportco guns are. Anyway, needless to say, I know it was probably late 60s, and it's been going ever since. This poor gun got used and abused by my father in his younger days, and then also went out for a stint on a fishing vessel as well for getting rid of sea snakes and sharks and other things when it was legal to do so. So by the time it came off that boat, it had effectively been refitted with a target barrel about that thick. Unfortunately, that target barrel was made of rust. So, my dad being a bit cheap, rather than buying a new gun, took it to a local gunsmith where I come from, called Kingsley Honan, who stripped it right back, and it had 6 dips in a caustic hot salt bluing compound, a process which is highly carcinogenic, and I don't know of any gunsmiths today that are doing it. Anyway, Kingsley's still with us, but yes, as a result, he managed to bring back, despite all the pitting down the length of the gun, brought the gun back to this beautiful, deep royal blue finish. It is absolutely spectacular. While that was going on, my dad redid the stock in Estopol. I can't exactly remember what particular breed of timber was underneath this, but Estopol gives it that nice red colour. Needless to say, it's come up pretty spectacular. Again, this was done probably in the mid-80s. So, the 62S, as I said, 22 long rifle, rimfire, nice little bolt action. Its action itself is typical of any 22 rimfire with the twin extractors across the top. And really not much in terms of locking, as it only really locks off the bolt handle itself. Sportco triggers are renowned as being pretty good. I'm not going to dry fire this one because it is a rimfire. You'll end up damaging the rim of the chamber itself. Magazine, 10-shot detachable. This one shows all the requisite damage of many years of abuse. Pressed metal design, nice weak spring on it, but it still functions. However, you can swap them out for anything off the Winchester 320 range as well. There's a very good reason for that. Sportco was doing so well with his Model 10s, Model 62s, Model 66s, he actually provided Winchester the pattern. And as a result, that design became the Winchester 320. So yes, any of you Americanos folk out there with the Winchester 320 can be thanking an Australian for that design. 62S is defined by its straight buttstock and full pistol grip and square trigger guard. Safety is located just above or just behind the bolt handle, as you'd find it on many other rifles of that type. Originally, iron sights would have been fitted. These were removed when my father obviously had telescopic sight fitted. Barrel, I can't tell you the twist rate of any of the literature, but this one has been recrowned. I got that recrowned myself as well. It's very hard to wear at a rimfire barrel. Normally they'll just lead up. You will get wear at the crown, you'll get wear at the chamber. So as long as you're prepared to put a new crown on it, cut the threads back and recut the chamber, freshen that up, you'll basically get a whole new life out of a 22 long rifle barrel. That was the preferred trick of rabbit shooters, trying to get as much life out of one barrel as they could. The sling on this gun was made by my uncle out of a dead kangaroo and braided that up for my old man. The scope on this one is a Hawkeye. It's one of the cheaper end, being a 22 rimfire. I didn't feel the need to spend any big dollars on it. Originally it had a Tasco, then it had a Nico Sterling, and then it's had a whole bunch of other. This gun has outlived multiple optics. Takes some pretty big knocks in its time. In terms of accuracy, it's as accurate as any 22 ammunition you put through it. 22s are very finicky on the type of ammunition they like. This one particularly likes high velocity, super high velocity. Back in the day, my old man used to run Winchester lasers when they were the go-to for the extra muzzle blast and the extra velocity with the nickel-plated case. Winchester in Australia very much lost their way in the early thousands, and net result was I can't think of too many Winchester ammunitions that actually group at all out of any gun. But anyway, that continues with this gun to stay. I was shooting, when I was learning to shoot in a big way, I used to use this gun for metallic silhouette. It's nice and light, so as a youngster, shooting offhand, I had no trouble at all keeping on target, as opposed to something a bit heavier like a Bruno Model 2. This gun has actually done that much work that the firing pin is actually starting to wear down. The spring's getting a bit light on it. One day we'll get around to getting a new pin machined up. But for the most part, at the moment, it's a bit of a safe queen. I don't take it out anywhere as much as I should, but when I do, it certainly does the job. So that is the unique story of this particular Sportco Model 62S, or Winchester 320. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe. We are now on Facebook, and we'll catch you again sometime soon to bring you either another interesting firearm or an interesting part of the Australian firearms culture and history here.